Hey everyone, today we're talking about the Monvict MC-170s. Monvict contacted me again, asked me to test out these and also the 180s, which depending on how I release these, don't know which one you'll see first. So the Monvict 170s are the comparable to the Harbor Freight cutters, the mini cutters. And if you remember before, when I did the Monvict hot glue gun, Bleds also sent me a pair of theirs. And so this is a quick update on these. So we've put these through the rigorous tests and have found their limit. Their limit is exactly as described. They do not cut steel. And we were trying to cut up some staples, and there might have been a nail. I'm not 100% sure. I wasn't there. The mechanic was doing it and abusing my tools, and this gets back to my point. Don't abuse your tools. These things were perfectly fine, working wonderfully in the shop, and then due to abuse, you can't see it, but there's nicks all through these blades. And so, Blitz and Monvict, if you see these, well, I guess Monvict's already sent me these, but I could use a replacement for the smaller ones. Anyways, so don't abuse your tools, don't cut steel with them. But back to the Monvict 170s. So these are, like I said, the comparison to the Harbor Freight mini cutters. And I gotta tell you, these are nice. Monvict makes really nice tools. They use higher quality steel. They use a lot thicker steel too. And I'm not sure if you can see the comparison here, but they're a little bit thicker, which, in a pair of wire cutters, you want stability, you want thickness. You don't want your blades to bend and get out of whack. But these, they're super sharp. They're nice. They got a nice spring built into them. And what's nice about these is, and the reason you'd want these, is these have a nice flat back on them. So when you're cutting a wire, and like so, what they do, I don't know if you can see this on camera, but it leaves a nice flat surface. There's no it doesn't cut at an angle or anything like that. So like that, a lot of cheap wire cutters, you'll end up cutting through them like that, and they'll end up pinching the wire through and giving you a angle on your wire. These cut flat every time. The blades meet in the middle, like so. And so you get a nice flat surface, which is really nice for, especially when you're putting them into connectors, things of that nature. Sorry, my mind just blew a blank. Especially those little like two-way connectors that you crimp over wires, where this just ends up butting up against a piece of plastic and the blade comes down and bridges the gap. But overall, the Monvict 170s, there's really not a lot I can say about them because they're really good. Overall, they cut through everything. I think they said they're good for up to 12 gauge. And honestly, based on the distance between the two blade points, that's probably accurate. But I do have a piece of 10 gauge here, if I can get it out. I have unraveled my spool and I've made a mess. Here we go. So this is 10 gauge with pretty thick insulation on it. So these things say that they're good for up to 12 gauge copper wire, braided wire, not solid wire, but copper braided wire. Oh wait, you know, I take that back. The package did say it could do 12 gauge solid wire too. But anyway, we'll see. This is 10 gauge. We'll see if we can shove it in there and make it work. Yeah, dude, these things are so sharp. Like, these are tiny little cutters, cutting wire that they're not even rated to do, and I'm not having a single problem out of this whatsoever. Which in comparison, where's my cheap set? I did this in my other video. This is my cheap set of cutters. These cutters suck. And this is why you spend money on good tools. Because these have sucked out of the box since I got them for, I don't know, I probably paid like $2 or $3 for these, and these are 100% Home Depot like box item, you know, where they just have a box of tools, box of screwdrivers, stuff like that. But these, like, you really gotta put some oomph into them. And because you're having to put that much into it, it squeezes the wire on either side and makes it flat. These, even though this isn't supposed to work on these on these Monvicts. Monvict's gonna get upset with me for that one. But they cut straight, and give you a nice flat surface. They don't pinch, and they're just really nice little wire cutters. When I first got the first set of blades that they sent me, I was a little bit unsure of how they would end up going in my shop. Would I ever really use them? They seem small. Honestly, they're awesome. And these Monvict 170s are super sharp, super nice. They have a really nice grip on them. And being that they're bigger, a little bit bigger with a bigger gauge, they can handle a lot more variety of wires too. To wrap up, the Monvict 170s, super nice, super sharp, and they actually have a lot of utility in my shop. Like I said, I didn't know how they were going to end up when Bleds first sent me that other small pair, but now that I've been using them, I like these things a lot better for specific scenarios, especially when you're working with smaller gauge wire like 22 gauge, 18 gauge, something like that. These things are perfect for them. And they're sharp, they're quick, and they leave nice flat cuts. Hey guys, don't forget, giving away some Icon tools, an extendo ratchet, added that to it, a couple of little things we haven't shared with you yet. But we're giving them away once we hit 1,000 subscribers, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button and get yourself entered into the free drawing. Alright y'all, let's talk about something serious. How does the Monvict MC-170s fare in a zombie apocalypse? Well, they got some pretty good utility. They're nice little wire cutters. They're not as big and sturdy as obviously the Monvict 180s, but that's why they make two different sizes. You could use them as a stabby weapon. It's always good. And like I said, they do have some utility as a wire cutter, good for doing, repairs on, like I said in the last video, like on generators and stuff. And so overall, I give them a solid 2, solid 3 in the zombie apocalypse. They're really good tools, and they are small and lightweight, so they're not going to actually end up taking up much space or weight in your pack or anything like that. So I would recommend them as a zombie apocalypse weapon. It would be a good one of the first things you need to grab tool-wise. Like I said, you need a hammer, screwdriver, and a good pair of wire cutters.